Welcome to the LiiiGHTWAVE podcast, everybody. Thanks for coming back. My name is Luanda Lamini. I'm the founder of LiiiGHTWAVE, and I'm really happy to be your host today. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into Alexandria and some of the features that have dropped on Alexandria. So, Alexandria is now deployed and it's up. This wasn't the case last time I spoke, but yeah, we've got Alexandria up, and I want to take a deep dive into the features, but before I do that, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. If you're enjoying this content, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you get notified whenever we have a new episode out. And also, if you like this content, hit the like button afterwards. And yes, thank you for everybody that's joined us on the previous episode and everybody that's joining us today. I really appreciate the support, and I'm hoping that everything that we're doing with LiiiGHTWAVE and Alexandria continues to provide some sort of value to you. So I'm really blessed to have people that are supportive of me with anything that I do. So I'm grateful. So in case you were not here on the first episode, I'm just gonna go over a summary of what Project Alexandria is. Project Alexandria was supposed to be a project for creating an immersive tool that allows you to study history in an immersive way. That's the end goal of it. There's still a long way to go in terms of what we really wanted to do with Alexandria. But to start off, I just said, okay, let me provide some tools that historians can use, some digital tools that historians can use using AI. I was planning to train my own machine learning models, and that's still in the plan. So LiiiGHTWAVE will have its own proprietary machine learning models eventually. That's the end goal. Right now, we are using the GPT model by OpenAI, and we're piggybacking off that. But we do want to train our own models, which are specifically tailored towards our needs. And yeah, that's something that we're looking to do once we get funding. So let's get into the new features and what we dropped exactly. So if you go onto the Alexandria website now, which is www.alexandria.com, you'll find you'll land on the homepage, and you'll find two buttons that prompt you to either explore a dataset or analyze. And on the sidebar, you'll have the option to analyze. So there's an analysis page, there's a dataset page, there is a weave page, and there is a curator page. So I'm going to start with the first one, the dataset page. That's a page for viewing the datasets that we already have curated. This is the dataset that we were working on for the longest time, and it's not even all of the content on that on the dataset. There's like a lot, and it's just a process of adding everything to the database and getting that loaded onto the app. So I'm still in the process of doing that. I'm currently a solo developer. I keep saying we're because I work heavily with AI. So AI is sort of like my partner in all of this, helping me to build a lot of what I build. I use an AI IDE called Cursor, which does a lot of like auto completions for you, and also has an agent that can even write like a lot of code for you. You can sort of just give it prompts of what you want to get done and get it done. So that's allowed my workflow to be a lot faster. I do want to shout out to Cursor. Cursor is my favorite AI IDE, and I would highly recommend it. This is not a paid promotion, by the way, but I would highly recommend it to any developer that's that knows how to code, but that is looking for something to help increase their productivity and improve their workflow a little bit. I know the topic of AI IDEs is a bit controversial now in vibe coding. I'm not going to get into that, but if you are interested in doing that, I recommend the Cursor IDE. Um, so um, we had the first feature, which was the data sets. You can just view the data sets. Initially, we had a version of Alexandria out where you could contribute to the data sets. I did away with that because I wanted to handle sign up and sign in, like authentication, before I did that, so that you could contribute. You can contribute and say who you are when you're contributing in a secure and safe way, so that your data is protected and all of those nice things. So that's something that I'm going to leave for now. But it will be something in the later versions of Alexandria once we have sign up and sign in and we can onboard users. We'll definitely do that. The other thing is analytics for the app. So we don't currently have a system for analytics. The one thing that I am using is OpenAI. OpenAI provides a really great dashboard for like the usage of its API, and because most of our app is using the OpenAI API, you can get a good sense of how many people are using the app just by looking at the dashboard on OpenAI and having a look there, how your usage is going. So I have a picture of like how many people are using our features, but it's not specific features. So that's something that we still need to build into the app. And we'll do that once we've done authentication, so that we can have a privacy policy and create tracking cookies to track usage of the app and things of that nature. But yeah, that was the first feature, datasets. Next feature, this one I was really excited about when I got it done, which is analysis. You can upload a source and Alexandria will analyze that source for you, and give you sort of different segments of your data. It will give you different types of analyses of your data. So different, you can look for different things in your data. That's really what I'm trying to say. You can look for the key figures. So, by the way, Alexandria is mainly made for historians, but people from other fields have been using it, and you can use it just to summarize something that you're reading. It can work that way. Its prompts are tailored towards historical documents, but it doesn't just take in historical documents. But yeah, I designed it for historians, so you can find the key figures in the history. You can find the timeline of the history, key moments within the history, and you can just get an overview of the history, based on, and this will all be based on the title of the source and the author of the source, which gets scraped. I have a data scraper running in the backend that scrapes the data from the source, and then passes that scraped data to the OpenAI API, which then takes it in as a prompt, as part of a prompt, and then returns the content that you get in your response, right? So that is the analysis feature. I was really excited when I got that working because that was my first time. I'm not a full stack developer. I'm a front end developer. So that was my first time working on something full stack. So got that done thanks to help from my AI IDE. And yeah, I was really, really proud of myself for that. But I know it doesn't do much. So I added another feature after that called Weaver, which essentially weaves together pieces of evidence into uh, a single narrative. So it takes different pieces of evidence and forms a narrative out of that evidence. In its initial form, it just took in evidence. There wasn't any sort of verification process to check whether your evidence was valid based on any source material, or whether your ideas were sort of corroborated. So I quickly fixed that, and now you have to go through a verification process. So you have to verify each piece of evidence first. You click the verify button, and you get a response about whether your claims, your evidence that you're putting forward are verified and based on actual facts, or are not verified. So first you have to verify your evidence before you can weave it together, and you get that verification response. So that's how the weave component works. And yeah, I'm really excited to sort of give everybody a visual tutorial of how that works. I'm planning to release that next after I finish this podcast, actually. And yeah, I'll just do a screen recording of how Alexandria works, and list out some of the new features, and I'll post that on socials. Next feature, which I added today, and for this feature, shout out to my mom. She's actually the one that recommended this idea. She said, can you create a feature for researchers which curates a list of sources for their research topic? So that's what I did, and I created a curator. And if you go to the curator feature, you can just type in a research topic, and it will return academic and scholarly sources that you can use, research sources that you can check out for that particular topic. I will work on each of these features. I'll refine them a little bit. So I know for example, the curator, it might benefit from having from getting sort of like hyperlinks to the research topics themselves. So you can just click on the link that you get from the response, and that takes you to that particular research paper. So that's something that I'm working on adding. Also, in the Weaver, I'm working on adding a more robust process of validating your ideas, and I'm not going to allow idea sharing. So you can form narratives, but I'm not going to allow narrative sharing until we've really put together a robust system for validating the ideas that you're putting forward. So your evidence needs to be verified, and then we'll do even more checks after that to check that the final narrative is verifiable and accurate. And we're also going to try to put in measures to prevent AI hallucination from giving results which are not accurate. So those are the things we need to work on. I don't know if we'll work on all of that before or after we find some funding for the app. But yeah, those are definitely features that we need to work on. And yeah, I think now will be a process of just refining the features that we already have. I might add one or two more features. But the next major milestone will be user onboarding. Right now, you can use it without having an account, but ideally, we want user onboarding so that we can track how the app is being used, and we can give you a more personalized experience on the app. Yeah, and I do have to give a special shout out to also ChatGPT, not just my AI IDE, but ChatGPT for guiding me along the process. Literally, everything from the topics I speak on in the podcast to my business plan to how I plan to pitch this to people. I go over it with ChatGPT. It's a great sounding board for like almost all of my ideas. So yeah, that is a big reason why I managed to get most of the things done. Um, so yeah, if you're not already using these tools, I highly recommend them to anyone. Um, yeah, so those are the new features, and I will share, as I said, I will share a tutorial of me using the app, showing you how to use it. There is a help menu, but it needs to be refined significantly, and I do need to add in a tutorial mode to the app, but I'll do that after user onboarding, so it's personalized for you. Um, and those are things that we need to work on. But right now we're working on just MVP. So yeah. Um, by the way, we are looking for history faculties at universities to work with in terms of vetting our data that gets contributed to the data sets. So this is part of the reason we took contribution mode off. We don't yet have anybody to vet the data, and we wanted to do it through universities ideally. So that's that's sort of a gap that we have right now. So if you know anybody that is working in a department at a university that might want to help us out in some way, or any history students that are keen to help out, yeah, please refer them to this podcast, and maybe they can listen along and find out what we're doing. And if they're interested, they can reach out to us. You can reach out to me on my social media. I'm Babegi Zulu on all my social media. That's BABEKIZULU on all my social media platforms. So that's Instagram, Twitter, Threads, yeah, and LinkedIn as well. And another thing, we are also looking for people who are philosophers and people who are involved in ethics, as well as programmers. So anybody that wants to help out that's involved in any of those fields, do reach out to us. We can have conversations about how that looks. The project is meant to be open source. I'm supposed to be developing it in an open source way, so I would like to get that started and get some contributions coming in, and share the development process with everybody, to the extent that we can, to the best of our ability. But yeah, if you can help out, it would really be appreciated. Some of the ethical issues that we're looking at right now are issues around the accuracy of the information that the app puts out. So that needs to be super accurate. So we need to make sure that in our prompts and in what we're getting back from the OpenAI API, we're getting back information that's as accurate as possible. That means we need to put in features on the front end which prevent the maluse of the app for misinformation, disinformation, and that's why we haven't implemented any sort of mechanisms for sharing. Once there's user onboarding, obviously that will be something that we'll be looking to do next, but we don't want to do that until we know that the platform won't be misused for misinformation. So yeah, being a history app, this is sort of very important because you don't want to rewrite history in a way that's not accurate. So this is why we're looking for people involved in ethics and philosophy to come and help out. Yeah, come and join the team. As I said, it's me, ChatGPT, and my AI IDE right now. It's a very small team. And it's crazy that I can say that in 2025, that you can literally just have your AI as part of your team. But it would be nice to get some humans on board to deal with the human things. So yeah, please join in if you are interested. Yeah, those are all the things that I wanted to cover for this podcast. But if you have any questions, do reach out to me. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button if you enjoyed the episode. And tune in next week where we'll be speaking about the inner workings of Alexandria, how we built it, and how sort of it came together internally. This is for the engineers and software developers out there that are curious to have a look under the hood and see how everything works. I'll definitely go over that next week. And yeah, thank you very much for joining the podcast. I'm London Lamini. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend ahead, and see you next week.